Look at this chart. Benchmark price for townhouses have almost reached $400,000 and sales have outpaced inventory. What is going on? Let's check it out. Hi, my name's Fyfe, your Calgary Realtor. If you're looking at getting into the market, it is so important to create a plan. If you're looking to obtain some information, go ahead and book a call. My link is in the description. I promise I'm easy to talk to. 2023 is going to be a very hectic year, so setting up a plan 3, 6, 9 months in advance is so important. So let's go ahead and look at this chart again. So right off the hop, you can see that the red line is a benchmark price, absolutely smashing past 2022 highs. Now, one other thing I do want to point out about this is that the sales has actually outpaced inventory, meaning that there is more price increases on the horizon. If the inventory cannot keep up and it's going to continue to decrease every single month, that means that the selection for buyers is going to get more and more tight. Now, last year I was actually very happy to see how the sales and inventory fell together, because when those sales and inventories fell together, it actually leveled out that price point really nicely. You can see in January, February, March, April that the sales to inventory was getting tighter and tighter, and now we've actually surpassed that. So it is pretty crazy. Let's go look at it. So there's two things I want to touch on this quick little description here. First of it being sales to new listing ratio reached 95%. That means 95% of homes that were listed sold, at least what was left over from the previous month. Now, the benchmark price reached a new record high of $387,400, over 7% higher than last year's levels. Townhouses in Calgary have absolutely exploded in price. So let's start to break the numbers down. Before we do that, I just want to bring this to your attention that this is the benchmark attributes for a townhouse. So you can see that the benchmark price has increased and it is the most expensive it's ever been. But when you're curious about what does that even get you, it gets you a 2-bedroom, 2 full bathroom, fully finished basement, 1,160 square foot forced air heating with natural gas, and it was built in 2004. These benchmark prices are going to be a lot more in detail than the average and median price. Average price gets very fluctuated from the higher sales and the lower sales. If $1 million sale happens that month, the average goes up. If $100,000 sales happens that month, the average goes down. Where the benchmark price is a set criteria, and this is the price point that you should be watching. So let's start to break this down a little bit more. So this is the year-to-date sales for all of Calgary. Now this is total amount of sales for all townhouses and all quadrants. So you can see that the sales are up. The new listings have actually fallen, which is really unfortunate to see. The inventory has fallen as well, and the days on market has actually increased, which is interesting. It's almost a little bit of a conflicting situation there. The benchmark price went from $378 to $387, which is again the highest that we've ever seen on record. Last month was actually the highest ever on record as well. And then the average is again up to $399, but I don't really watch that much. So when you look at the sales here, right, you see that there's 416 sales, and you look at the highs of last year. You know, in March and April, we had 700 and 600 sales in that 1 month, where this is only 400. So we're actually quite low in the historical sales aspect. New listings are very low. You can see it's only 436, where last year there was 883 in March alone. And then it was 782, 771, 654. There was a lot more new listings than there were this year, which I believe to be a problem, and what's really causing that price increase, because there's just not that much selection out there. The inventory has also fallen to 339. Wow, 396. I can't read apparently. That's really low. That is very low. That is a number that we usually see over the winter time. So the fact that the sales is basically outpacing inventory at this point, I would say that more price increases on a macro level are on the horizon. So let's start to break this down for your personal situation. And the first thing we're going to look at is the sales by price point. This is just to give you a quick glimpse of what's going on. So last year, again, the sales numbers were quite high. If you look at the $300,000 price point, you can see that there was about 400 more sales than there was year to date than there is this year. You can see that the $200,000 price point is greatly decreased. The $400,000 price point is relatively the same, and then the $300,000 price point is very tight compared to what it was last year. So being in that $200,000 to $500,000 price point is going to be very competitive. 5, 6, 7, you're probably going to have a little bit more leniency there, as the townhouses are not as popular, but the affordable product in Calgary is definitely the hot topic this year. So let's continue this trend and continue to break down the numbers in a lot more detail. So this is the microeconomic outlook for each quadrant of Calgary. So this is the sales, this is the new listings, this is the sales to new listing ratio. You can actually see that Northwest and West sold more listings than, they sold more homes than were listed, which is pretty crazy, like 125%. So there was 50 sales in Calgary West with only 40 new listings, which means that their months of supply is all the way down to 0.74, which is pretty wild, and only 37 listings left over. This is we'll talk about the months of supply. The months of supply on average is under 1 month for the whole sector. You can see that City Center is still up there at 1.42, still considered a seller's market, but look at how many 0.7s there are. Like, there is a lot of activity in North, West, and South. Like, everywhere is super busy for townhouses, so you have to be prepared. What is your strategy? What are you doing to actually win these offers? This is the price point. This is the year-over-year percentages. And then this is the month-over-month percentages. So pause the video, look at these numbers. If you have any additional questions, feel free to ask. Now, to continue on here, I just wanted to show this slide here. This is the benchmark price for April. You can see that the benchmark price for townhouses are somewhat in line with some of the quadrants in semi-detached area. The benchmark price for row townhouses have actually increased greatly, and that's right here. Now, you can see that the city center is the most expensive, but everywhere else, like if you look at north, northwest, west, and southeast, they're all very similar in price point, where Calgary East is a little bit more cheaper than the other quadrants, if you would. And then I'm going to talk about this as well. So townhouses have had one of the best years they've ever had in 2022. And now 2023. This price growth comparison really showcases the percentages of year-to-year growth. You can see that Calgary South has seen the largest year-over-year, where Northeast closely follows with East as well. Sorry, getting a little bit messed up here, but this is just more or less a visual for you to showcase how much things are increasing here. So, if you have any questions, I stumbled over my words a little bit there, but this is a very real live action. I don't want to edit these things out. I want to be honest with you and transparent. So if you have any questions about any of these year-over-year price growth, if you have any questions about your strategy in 2023, feel free to reach out to me. Click the link in the description, ask me some questions. I promise I'm easy to talk to, but you need to know what you're getting into if you're going to step into the market this year. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.